It's time now to catch up on what happened today online, and joining us now is Emerald Maxwell. Now, I know that in 2015 there was this swell of support after that attack. Je suis Charlie was the hashtag. Are we seeing anything at all similar in response to this attack?
We are actually. We saw today Paris 11 trending on Twitter. That's the district which was targeted today as well as in 2015. Because of course this, as Le Parisien newspaper says, it's a neighborhood already scarred. It's the location for the former HQ of Charlie Hebdo, as well as the production company Première Ligne, which is where the two injured victims are from, the ones who were attacked today. Lots of locals from Paris 11 were tweeting messages of support and also dismay at what had happened today. This young lady says, "This was my neighborhood, and I feel sick at what happened, as if there weren't enough problems in this crazy world right now." This other Twitter user it's also expressing solidarity and support for the victims on this day, and that brings back so many painful memories for people, particularly Parisians. This man posted two photos of the same street 5 years apart. He says, "Look, nothing has changed." Actually, that's not quite true. Yes, it sort of seems to be history repeating itself, but obviously the attack 5 years ago was far more devastating with fatalities. Luckily today, fingers crossed, but they look like they're on the mend, the two people who were injured. And we don't know if the attacker was actually targeting Charlie Hebdo's office. It's true that it's often broadcast on the front of the office is often broadcast on the news, so he could well have thought that Charlie Hebdo was still there. But this Twitter user says, well, he was foolish enough to go there, and he assumed that that's what he was getting. But unfortunately, he did manage to hit two journalists, and so a lot of support has come from media organizations like the president of France Télévisions, who offers unconditional support and says France Télévisions will always be on the side of freedom of expression. Charlie Hebdo's newsroom too has also come out with a message of support, and it also adding that today's tragic events should only make us more determined than ever to defend our values. Lots of people have been sharing the front page of Charlie Hebdo, the controversial cartoon of Prophet Muhammad that attackers gave as their motive in 2015, as a sort of message of solidarity. This cartoon was a rather poignant cartoon by David Pope from 2015 was also shared again. We see the attacker saying, well, he drew first. Anne Hidalgo, Paris's mayor, deplored the attack, saying, through this highly symbolic place, it's once again freedom of expression that is targeted. The French Prime Minister, Jean Castex, also said that that France was determined to commit to press freedom and fight terrorism. The attack, though, is already being politicized. Marine Le Pen from France's far right, for instance, suggesting this could have been avoided if France had a stricter immigration policy. Some people online are sharing their concerns that this attack could stir up more anti-immigration and even anti-Muslim sentiment. This cartoon actually makes the point that this sort of racism is often cloaked in terms of the old secularism debate in France. And in the cartoon, you see a newsreader ask his two sociologist guests what they think is happening in France today. One of them answers, "I think we have a problem with secularism," and the other says, "I think we have a problem with Arabs." Then catches himself and says, "Whoops, I mean secularism." So there are some fears being stirred up that this could open the floodgates to this sort of sentiment.
So there's a lot of emotion online, but have we seen this sort of move to a political discussion already? Sounds like it has.
To a local discussion.
No, a political discussion.
Political discussion, yes, absolutely. Well, as I said, we have Marine Le Pen from the far right already blaming France's immigration policies for the fact that, well, we don't know for sure the identity of the attacker. It hasn't been confirmed, but there has been reports that he is an immigrant from Pakistan, and if that's true, then it's obviously given ammunition to the right, and so plenty of people on the right on the right in France are already using this.
Okay. Emerald Maxwell, thank you so much for that.